Hello there and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you have enjoyed your rest so far and 2024 is just around the corner. Today we're going to talk about a serious topic. I'm going to talk about business and how we as South African are treating our businessmen. Now I'm a tradesman myself. I've got a small business and things are tight. Things are really tight. And I've spoken to many of my friends and colleagues trying to figure out why is things going south the way it's going now, and why are so many qualified tradesmen left South Africa. And we came to the conclusion it's greed. Yep, greed. Let me put it to you like this. I'm gonna paint you a little picture and hopefully I can explain myself by doing this. Now you've got a local. He goes through all the rigmarole of qualifying, for example, a plumber or electrician and whatever field he might have qualified. Did his apprenticeship, did his paperwork, started a little company in the hope of growing it. But there's more to the little company that he started, is the fact that he contributes to the tax basis and he is legally there. He is a qualified technician or artisan or tradesman. He's got the paperwork to do it. And he contributes to the economy of our country. Apart from that, he employs people in his company. So by employing people, you widen the tax basis or the tax footprint of South Africans. And this is where the small and micro industries are so vital important to South African economy. It is about employing people. But these little businesses has all been driven away. Apart from COVID-19 that basically destroyed 90% of these businesses, most of the tradesmen, qualified tradesmen, have left South Africa for greener shores. But I know they are longing to come back. But where did the things really go south? And I'm going to trample on some toes today, but maybe it's time to trample on those toes. Some people, when you come out of these big retail stores, you find all these oaks next to the road. Plumber, painter, electrician, these oaks, that. They can all sit there. The chance that these oaks are foreigners is 99%. So now you employ this oak. You bring him to your house to do a job. But the person, the South African that's got a small company, that's got families to feed, that contributes to the tax basis, he doesn't get the job. Because the job is given to the foreigner who makes money. He doesn't employ anyone except his own. The money he makes, he sends out of South Africa. He doesn't even pay tax. And this is one of the major problems. This is where I think that the Department of Labour should really get to grip of what's going on and should step up their efforts and to make sure that qualified tradesmen and qualified personnel gets protected in South Africa. This is becoming a serious problem. And the more people we lose, the worse and deterioration of our infrastructure will become. Secondly, I was part of a business, kind of like a webinar, where various businesses came around a table on a weekly basis, or business network, that's the better word for it, business network. And there was this one lady that went on and on and on. Now everybody around the table is a person who owns a business in a certain field. there's a category for electrician and for a plumber and for a builder, and I was on the security, and this one is a bookkeeper, and etc., etc., etc. This is how the system works. And this one lady carries on about handyman. Now, this is where I'm going to step on a lot of toes. What is a handyman? A handyman is a jack of all trades, a master of none. Didn't do the effort to go and qualify in his various fields. And I'm going to speak of experience in my field. And I was actually in two fields, one in the plumber field and one in the security field where I'm now. So we have to register. If you are a plumber, you have to register with IOPSA, the Institute of Plumbing South Africa. Whether you're a cabinet maker or glass fitter or a builder, ECA, Electrical Contractors Association for the electricians, etc., etc. So you have to be registered somewhere. So there's registration fees. You have to register everyone that works with you or for you at the Department of Labour. Tax, if you want to do work for insurance companies, all your necessary paperwork needs to be in order. But now you get a handyman. He's not qualified in anything. And yes, he can do most of the stuff. But why risk that? Why take the food from the mouth from the qualified person? If you need surgery, brain surgery, are you going to go to a normal bossy doctor or Shangoma, or are you going to go to a neurosurgeon? And this is how we protect small and micro businesses. Is when you've got jobs to do, make sure that the person that you're going to employ is firstly qualified to do the job. Look at his resume, ask for references. And it really makes, I understand the fact that people also need to eat. But now you come, for instance, in my industry, and the guy stops in front of you, and on the back of his bakkie it stipulates he's an electrician, a plumber, a builder, welder, garage, electric motors, electric fencing, all of it. He can do all of it, but he's qualified in none of it. So, and the sad part is these freelancers, these handymen, they ask in the same bracket as the professionals ask. I've come to sites where I would have done a job for less than what the handyman did it. And if you ask these people, why did you ask us? No, price and this and that. Oh no, we felt sorry from. Why didn't you go to the right person in the first place to get something done? Now, I'm speaking here out of the electric fence industry, and there was a recent survey done by a man called Mr. Jan Pretorius. He is the head of Electric Fence Installers or Suppliers and Installers Association. And the sad fact is that, according to their statistics, more than 87% of all the electric fences installed in South Africa is not up to scratch, is not working. Apart from that, there is many rules and regulations towards this. There is COCs that needs to be issued. And I've seen it with my own eyes. Insurance jobs being done by people where the energizer was, for instance, blown by electrical surge or high voltage or weather, whatever the case may be, and it needs to be replaced. Aki comes out not qualified. He swaps it, puts it in, starts it, and he goes. Now, my good friend, this is where our insurance industry is also guilty of this, because the law stipulates, and you can go and look at the law at the various SABS and operating codes, is that when an operator like this is swapped, a COC must be issued. Same with geysers, same with houses with electrical work. So this is the demise of South Africa. So I urge you, before you employ someone to come and do a job for you, ask that person, are you qualified? Are you registered? Do you belong to these various unions? And what is important about belonging to these various unions association is, if I make a mess of it, or an electrician makes a mess, or a plumber makes a mess, you can contact these various associations. You can contact Electrical Contractor Association or the Institute of Plumbing or whoever, where this person is registered, and you can lodge a complaint. They will come out and look at this, and they will make a finding. And sometimes the finding is that that specific person or installer or technician or electrician or plumber will lose his license if he's not sent back to be retrained. This is the type of leverage that is given to you. Now, what leverage do you have with a jack of all trades, master of none? Absolutely nothing. What leverage do you have with a foreigner coming into your house? Just think of it. Think of how we do business 101 every day. How do we protect our own? How do we take South Africa forward? Now I'm going to throw a few little concepts in the air today. And one of this is possible solutions of how in the future we can lift South Africa out of this current problem we are having now, especially the financial problem. One of the first things that I'm going to do, and I also want to base, when it comes to finances, I also want to lean into the Word of God. And I'm speaking to that 80% plus of Christians in South Africa. And just think what I'm about to say, or what I'm going to say about a few things, and how this is in line with Scripture. The first thing that must go is, one must understand that it's not the government's problem. It should not be government's problem for socials. And when I refer to social, I'm speaking about all these SASSA grants. The first thing that must go is the SASSA grants for childbirth. People they are reckless. They are reckless when it comes to this. They do not think how they're going to raise a child. And it is noted, and we know of, where people encourage their children to have children. This is teenagers. Some of these girls is 12 years old having babies. It's not about having the baby. It's about the grant. So everybody it's like a popcorn machine for a grant, for 350 or 500 rand grant a month. First and foremost, that must go. That initiative of having children and the government pays for it must go. As simple as that. People must be held responsible for their own actions. Yes, certain elements of pensions for the elderly must be kept in place. Elements like people that can really, people that have got some form of serious sickness, or they're incapacitated and they can't work, for sure, government needs to assist them. But not everything can fall onto the government. So this is the first thing that must go, is more than 90% of all the SASSA claims must go, especially the child grant. And we need to increase our tax basis to support this. The second thing is a concept that has been in Germany for many, many years. And that is the first 10% of your salary. And how things work in Germany is that the first 10% of your salary gets deducted automatically. And that goes down as tithing. Now you can put on your tax form whatever religion you are assigned or aligned with. 10% of your income goes directly as tithing to that organization. Now, if you happen to be an atheist, the option can be that you can send your 10% to a non-profit company, something that or some group or that is involved with the upliftment of the community structures as a whole. That can be forwarded to them. So, first 10%, this I'm speaking about personal tax. I'm not speaking about company tax, personal tax. Because a company is not a person. Right. Now the second point I want to bring up is that all other taxes, business taxes, personal taxes, may not succeed 9%. So, yeah, the frown on your forehead, 9%. Why do I say 9%? This includes VAT and everything. It's a simple rule that if God demands 10% from us, who is the state to demand more? Just think about it. Just think about it. And by alleviating the taxes on many people, because a lot of people in South Africa, they're in the 30, 35, 40, 45% tax bracket. Now you open up the taxes. So the more money they've got, the more money they have to spend. And the more money they have to spend, the more people can be employed. So I believe it was a man by the name of Winston Churchill, that famous Prime Minister of Great Britain during the Second World War, that said that you cannot uplift yourself while standing in a bucket trying to pick it up. And this is unfortunately what's happening in South Africa. They are killing the taxpayers. We need to give the taxpayers, they must breathe, they must give opportunity for them to spend more. Because the more they spend, more companies, more everything will grow, and you must make it easier for businesses to grow. That is just one concept, so I want you to think about it. Another thing, and this is the reason why we feel that this must really go, is because of all the corruption connected to this. That's a road accident fund. It must be scraped in total. If you want to reuse the roads, if you want to drive a vehicle, you must have insurance. As simple as that. This is 101. This happens. It's general in the States, in the UK, all over the show. Road accident fund. South African road accident fund. If you open up the newspaper, it's just corruption, 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 corruption. So, because it's so corrupt, close it. Get rid of it. Why must we still feed a pot plant that is corrupt? And with that, all the people that's inside that organization that's corrupt, they must go with it as well. It's a simple business concept 101. You don't perform, you hit the road. Cash system. And I explained in one of the previous videos that people must come and explain themselves. And what the international society is pushing is for a cashless society. And there's a lot of dangers involved to it. But we believe that there must be a balance between digital banking and physical cash. You cannot just take cash away from people. There's a lot of industries, especially our township industries, that is based on cash. So by taking cash away, you're also going to kill that industry. So that is just a few ideas that I want to share with you. Another thing is, when it comes to the second part is religion. So I'm just going to throw religion in. I don't want to waste too much of your time. And this is where that 10% tithing comes in. Is the churches must be responsible for the social development and social needs of the people of South Africa. They are on the ground. So instead of dumping money into a account, and the person that receives the sausage grant, the first thing he goes and buys a bunch of beers or have a party, give this to the responsible people that can make sure that the people have enough food and that the people have enough clothing, instead of buying liquor, because this is where most of the SASSA grants is going to, liquor. Another thing that's also very important is we need to ensure freedom of religion in total for us to grow. This is a very, very important part, because religion is part and parcel of our communities and the way we operate. Now, one of these aspects of freedom of religion is we have to scrape the blue laws. Now, those of you who are not up to date with what the blue laws are, is go and Google it, and you will find what the blue laws are. Because if you want to be non-discriminative in all forms, this blue law is a form of discrimination, because it only caters for a certain group. So blue laws need to be scrapped. End of story. And a very, very important point is that the state and church must always stay separate. We cannot go back into the dark ages, because if you take a church, which church will it be? So it is good if your members are religious people, but the church must have no say when it comes to governmental operations and the running of it. So thank you very much for the time, and thank you very much for those who support our channel. Please remember to share and to like it, to subscribe for those who have not subscribed, and remember your bell icon. Thank you very much, and have an awesome day. Just think of what I've said. Cheers, bye.